Wonderful question. We like this. And so mm, we are just reaching out to you and to the many who have participated in this question, being here in this moment. For we know that so many of you have felt what you would call the heart pains and also the heart expansions, the place where you feel true joy and true bliss, and you center into the heart of who you really are, and the heart of all things, and the heart of all people, and the heart of all beings, and center into the creation principle of love herself, itself, its allness. We say to you that in regards to holding the space with your heart, there are so many ways to get there. But one thing that is interesting is that we can talk about ways to get there. We love the idea of breath work and breath consciousness. We've always said for years upon years that your breath was never properly introduced to you. Many of you were hit as you became into this world to breathe, and there then became this other kind of breath. There was never, not always, an easeful transition of breath. And then your parents and your guardians and your people did not know how to teach you about the power of your breath. And so we say your breath is a major key for dropping into your heart, to feeling the truth of your existence. When you feel the truth of your existence, the allness that you are, the innermost beingness self of who you exist as, not we mean personality. We do not mean personality. We mean the larger aspects of all that you are, the consciousness that is the love and the light and the eternalness of being. When you feel and fill into that space, you become heart-centered. This is not as we have said recently, this is not a box of chocolates filling up your, quote, heart space, though that can be a nice little adjunct or a way in as well. But it's not the real fullness that you are all essentially desiring and knowing essentially that you deserve and are yearning for. One of the other things we can say to you, besides breath or maybe chocolate boxes, is that you allow yourself to be wide open. Allow yourself to feel. One of the things we can say is that many of our human friends have gotten in tune with how much they do not allow themselves to feel, how they have become closed off in their hearts. If you have come to an awakening within yourself and you have expanded in your heart, you've touched in on how lacking you were before with not being in your heart. Many of you have had that experience of opening and being in your heart, and then the familiar pattern, the familiar codes, the familiar route is to kind of close down when it feels like too much to handle. There is no wrongness inherently in that either, we would like to say. There is no need for you to judge yourself that, oh, well, I was in my heart. I was very heart-centered for quite a while there, Osairah, or I was heart-centered when I had that experience or with that person. And that was the highlight. That's it. And now I am not there. We would say to you, have not the idea of judgment around that, and trust that you will go there again. Trust that you will allow yourself to. And when the opportunity arises, and it always does, you open to that moment and not judge that. The tricky bit is this. Many of you do in fact not want to feel the fullness of your emotions. And that is where the cutoff is. Your emotions are an incredible energetic source. They are we like to call it literally like a highway, a super highway. You can get on with your emotions and you can speed through and feel so much, but most of you don't want to feel that much. And so we would suggest to you, maybe stop drinking alcohol that numbs you out, or overeating. We know that many of you, we are not judging you. We are literally saying this from neutrality because that is what we are. We are literally neutrality. We have not judgment. But we are wanting to offer you, because you asked, the ways to release some of the buffers that are around your heart and how to keep in the access of that. One of the things we will say that is a wise soul who can allow the emotions up, Let them run like the river they are and flow, and notice that they won't consume you. That if you are overeating or you are over drinking or you're doing any of the over anything, even your technology, as we said earlier, if you are overly on your devices all day long, how can you feel anything authentically and truly from the wholeness of your being? You are only activated with these senses, the mind, the neurotransmitters that are connected to the serotonin that is plugged in from the sensories of all of the ways that you're receiving this information. Is very different from when you are generating that within yourself. When you are touching in with, oh, that's wow, there's that place within me. There is that place within me that I have not wanted to feel. I think I was about to feel something very big. And instead, most of the time, you will go towards something to distract yourself from feeling. You will say, and we will lovingly say that our beloved channel even had this most recently. She was very aware that she was having very large emotions that were coming up, that she realized in a conscious way that she was putting at bay, didn't want to let it kind of come up because her to-do list was too big. I don't have time for that emotion. And we say with a big smile, with no judgment and so much love, she knows better, and she did, and she called herself on it, and yet she didn't let that wave of emotion come up. It's still brimming right here. So many of you are living like that. So many of you are living with your emotions right here at the brim, and you just won't let them gush out. We will tell you that if you let them gush out, you will feel free. You will feel liberated. You will feel release, and it won't consume you. You will not stay in despair and depression if you have tears that run out because emotions came up. They are a gateway. You flood yourself with too much, and then you act out in ways with pain. That is what constricts the heart. That is what the blocks become, the many layers of the many layers of the many layers of blocks. So be willing to undo, unravel. Go into those places where you know you have hid these hard parts from yourself, these painful places, these memories, these pieces that you just don't want to truly feel because you feel it will consume you. We say, take the time, let it rise and watch it be a wave because it will fall again and fall away. It will not stay and take you over. This is one of the ways, or some of the ways, that accessing your heart and staying in it can be authentic. It can be authentic by way of you staying with yourself, honoring what you feel. Be authentic in how you feel. The word would come up as be vulnerable. Be telling the truth. Be honest. Be wide open to the receivership of how it is that that can move through you and literally set you free. We know for some people that that becomes too terrifying, that there are wounds in the psyche, or there are places within you in your, what you would say, lifetime or lifetimes, that are kind of knot that you have built up, and you will hold that there because it is very strongly protecting what you feel is the destruction of you on some level. And that is just another layer, as we said before, as we've said many times, the layers and the layers, the layers and the layers. The reason why we say it like that is because the layers that you are moving through take you up higher. But when you have these knots, they will keep you at a certain kind of level. It is not to judge the level as bad. It is just to say there are levels. So if you know there are levels and you feel on some level you are holding yourself back, go there. Go right there. Go to that part that is holding you back, and you know it. Look it in the eye and watch that fear dissolve before your very eyes. It has no power over you, but the power that you give it by not directly looking right at it, seeing what it really is, feeling how it only wants your attention and only wants your softness and only wants your acceptance and only wants your love. And as that happens, it will melt away and not be the dark, big monster that you thought it was. It will be the unraveling of a part inside of your heart that needed attention so that the flow could continue to go, so that you can wake yourself up at another level and at another level. So staying within your heart means staying with yourself. We are so happy for this moment. Stay with yourself, dear ones. It is so very possible, and you are so very worthy of that opportunity. It is what you have come here for. You have come here for the remembrance of who you really are, of where you have really been, of allness, of the allness that you are, of the creation principle that you are literally the breath of life, the creation matrix. You are the ever outpouring experience of life itself. And when you can take that in at the level of emotion and realize your emotions are a gift, you can learn to navigate those emotions. You can learn to have the mastery over those emotions. You can say to yourself, oh, whoa, here comes a big wave. I know I'm really not prepared for this motion right now. Maybe I'll take myself to the ladies' room and have a moment with myself. Or maybe I will set that off and I will let myself come back to it. Or maybe I will just let myself have it all right here, right now, and move through it. What that does, dearest ones, is that truly expands the safety principle around yourself with yourself. You begin to trust yourself inherently more and more. And the heart within you begins to open those doors that were locked before, because it could not trust you, because you needed protection, because you did not trust the world, because things had hurt you, because the world was not what you thought it was, because life can be what you didn't expect. These things, these life experiences are a co-creation, a collaboration for you to remember your essence, to remember your truth. We so know you can do this. We so know you are the eternalness of life. We so know your heart is pulling you there. We so know your heart is infinitely full of nothing but love. Everything else in the way of that love and experiencing that love is the call for you to step into that love. This, we'd say, would be an aspect of awakening and staying within your heart. We say to each and every one of you who are listening, we say to you, dearest one, we appreciate you. We absolutely look forward to more. And we bid you the most loving and happy adieu.